In this video, I'm going to provide an update on what's going to happen now that the Congress failed to reach a deal on its stimulus package, which specifically with respect to immigration. What's going to happen now that USCIS is actually going to go ahead and furlough more than a third of its entire workforce. This is actually happening. So we'll talk about this video, the latest update on that. I know many of you have questions and concerns. So let's talk about it, and I'll see you on the other side. So it looks like the USCIS is actually going to be going forward with their plans to furlough more than a third of their entire staff, which is going to be pretty devastating. And we're going to talk about how it's going to impact applications and what's going to happen now that the talks at Congress with respect to the stimulus solution pretty much failed, and there was no really mention about immigration solutions in that or funding for immigration in those talks. So let's talk about what it means next now that we are in mid-August and how it's going to impact your cases. Before we dive in, if you're here for the first time, once again, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us that big like so YouTube will be able to share this video with people just like you who want to see more of that content. My name is Sapochnick. I am an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and my passion is to help immigrants just like you get that information through videos and articles and all the other stuff that we do. So let's talk about what's happening right now with the whole furlough situation. So as you know, Congress unfortunately failed to reach a deal on the stimulus package, specifically in this case as it relates to immigration, and funding for USCIS was not resolved. USCIS announced recently that they're going to furlough 13,000 out of their 20,000 staff, which is pretty significant. And they said, in addition to that, they also said that they made efforts to limit the spending. So they were, trying to cut some salaries, and they were doing some other adjustments to show that they were, being careful with the funding, with their money. But they still needed support from Congress with respect to more funding, which they didn't receive to this date. And as a result, unless a miracle happens, they will be going forward with their furloughs by August 30th, 2020. And again, as you remember, they specifically requested at least $1.2 billion to help them stay afloat and continue with their operations. This didn't happen. What did happen is that President Trump signed 4 executive orders, each addressing different economical programs, but immigration was not one of those programs, unfortunately, and as a result, the furlough programs will continue to go forward unless something happens. And as you remember, in previous videos, we talked about the furlough and kind of some of the things that we think happened that led to it, and the whole economical crisis with the USCIS. We mentioned before that because of the governments, it's actually the government that put the barriers on people to apply. People are scared to apply. There was a survey that was released recently that shows a decrease of more than 900,000 applications from 2017 to 2019. It shows the decrease in the amount of people that actually apply for immigration benefits. And again, the whole climate of immigration, there's a lot of fear. People are concerned, and there's also a lot of delays and backlogs just because of the agency that is not being able to process applications properly, as well as adjudicate their applications on time as well. And that's even before they furloughed their people. Congressional Democrats actually wrote the Senate about a month ago, specifically saying that any money that's going to be given to the USCIS should be somehow connected with some process like string it attached. If they get money, they should be doing certain things, and if they are going to be doing certain things that are not part of that list, the money should not be given to them. For example, if they're going to be receiving funds, they should not be using those funds to continue immigration enforcement. So some of the proposals by congressional Democrats that were, they were presented via document to the Senate specifically said that if USCIS is going to receive funding, this funding should be attached to some sort of conditions. So for example, if they receive the funding, they should not be using this money to increase enforcement and try to get more people denied. They should be using this money to invest in technology, to offer remote naturalization ceremonies, for example, and things like that, using more technology for e-signatures to avoid people from sending documents and increasing the efficiency of their processing. That's what they should be doing with their money. And that was something that, some of the proposal that was mentioned, and that was brought to the attention of Senate, because if any funding bill will pass, it should come with those conditions. And so how is it going to affect you? So like I said, we are 2 weeks away from these furloughs, which I think that were going to happen. I think what's important right now is that you should be able to still file applications. If you're thinking about filing an I-130 or a work petition, you should still be able to file. Again, immigration will remain open for receiving applications. What I think is going to happen is going to be more delays in processing, receiving your EADs, and getting receipt notices out there, and definitely things are going to get more slow with respect to interviews that are going to come when they're going to reopen all service center processing. We're definitely going to be entering into an era of uncertainty, because if they're going to be losing 13,000 people who are typically there processing cases, answering questions, it's going to be difficult to get answers from the USCIS. And a lot of cases are going to go into limbo. So my suggestion right now, if you have a case ready to file, just file it now while the system is still working, because we don't know exactly what impact those furloughs are going to be on people that are going to be new filers, and specifically the people that are waiting for months and sometimes years to get their interview appointment. So of course we'll keep you posted, we'll update you, but as of now, furloughs are going to proceed, and there's going to be quite a lot of uncertainty happening beginning of September. So we'll keep you posted. I'll obviously make another video once I know more information. Once again, make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you're here for the first time, give us that big like, and do not forget to join our Facebook group. Link is also in the description of this video, so you'll be able to join our community and continue the discussion over there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.